Let's talk about Ready to Love. All right. I know I have not done a review in about 4 weeks. All right. But it's not because I haven't been watching the show, because I've been watching the show every Friday. And somehow it'd be like already Thursday. And I'm like, I just watch Friday and put it together. And I did that a few times. And now we're here. Okay. So we're talking about episode 9 of whatever season this is, because I have completely lost count. But this is Tommy's Getaway Part 1. All right. Dom was the last person to go home. And so that means the women had the power. And now there's somebody about to go home that's a man. So the women have the power again. All right. So we're going to see who gets to go home between LaRon, Alonzo, and William. Now, I think it's going to be LaRon. But we'll see what happens, because, Tommy and his curveballs. All right. So the possible couples that I wrote down from this episode was Vanessa and Chaz, of course, Rashina and Justin, Rashina and Chaz, okay, Maya and LaRon, which surprised me because from the earlier episodes, I wasn't getting that she was feeling him. I didn't think that she hated the guy, but I just didn't think that she was feeling him. I could tell he was feeling her. But when they had that little moment in the kitchen and she said she was going to give him a chance, I was like, oh, okay. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So then we got Mika and Justin. And then we got Mika and Chaz. And then Chaz then picked up Patricia. So Chaz has 4 connections right now. And it's always, surprising who has the most connections once we get to this point. But we also see that Chaz might be leaving the house. Now, it is also funny to me that it always is like, not always, but a lot of times it's a guy that leaves, whether it's for work or whatever, leaves the getaway, right? And then there's several women from past episodes and seasons that should have left, but either they wouldn't let the women leave or the women didn't try to leave, right? But the men always get to storm out, whatever, Ready to Love, all right? So Vanessa only has Chaz, and the edits made sure that we were very aware that she only had Chaz. Now, we don't know if she was really looking like that when he was talking to his other connections, especially with what came out, what's coming out now. If you haven't heard the recording that Kamisha Reviews had posted, Vanessa's leaving a message for somebody. You can go listen to it yourself and try to deduce who she's talking to. But it seems like, it's reality TV and there might be a little bit of acting going on. You know what I mean? So pay no attention, or don't pay much attention to when they try to zoom in on people's faces for reactions, because a lot of times those reactions aren't even from the part that we're watching. But I'll get into that on another video, because I also have to talk about Love is Blind, all right? Love is Blind just had their reunion, and I have a lot of stuff to say about their reunion because I like the way they did their reunion versus how some other shows do their reunions. But we're going to get into that, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of stuff from behind the scenes and how these castings go and how the network is like manipulating the viewers as well as the cast members, all right? But then it always ends up that the cast members are mad at the viewers who are outspoken about what it is that they see on the screen, but we're all being manipulated by the network, in my opinion. But I'll cover that in another video, all right? So back to Ready to Love and Vanessa only having Chaz. I knew this was going to be awkward, regardless of if, it was real, how they were making their faces look. Regardless, watching a person that you're trying to be with connect with other people is just, I don't want to sign up for it. So it had to be awkward, all right? But they made sure we saw all of that. And then there was a moment where Chaz and Mika were like, in one of the rooms, and they were on the bed and they were like holding hands, and Vanessa walked in right at that moment. So that was an awkward moment as well. But it comes with the territory of what they were doing. You know what I mean? So then Tommy comes in, true Tommy fashion, as Alonzo said, on his little speedboat or whatever. And he comes to let them know that a man is going home in the morning, okay? And so LaRon calls a house meeting, and when he first did it, I looked at the TV and I was like, what? I could just see myself in that situation being like, house meeting? Who put you in charge? But anyway, they all go to the house meeting. They have the house meeting, and LaRon is basically telling them, listen, y'all got to all stop being salty. You know, he calls William out because he tells them that William was a part of the alliance to get Koshia out, okay? And he points out behaviors and things like that. It was funny, but it was not funny. It was like, but you know, somebody had to, I guess, take control, right? They, go to enjoy the day, and there were jet skis. Mika and Justin go out on the jet ski because I think he was trying to get Rashina to go. He was trying to get somebody, I think it was Rashina. He was trying to get somebody to go, but they didn't want to get their hair wet. Mika don't seem like she wanted to get her hair wet either, but Justin made sure that happened, okay? And they fell off the jet ski. And then there was a situation, like I said, in the kitchen with LaRon and Maya, and I was just shocked that was even happening. But so that's the thing now. But let's talk about Chaz, because Chaz is in quite the predicament, okay? He is in this one house. He has 4 connections. Now, a couple of the other connections have other connections, but they all like Chaz, okay? They all like Chaz. So I don't know what we're going to see in tomorrow's episode, but Chaz had the nerve to add Patrice. That's just sick, Chaz. That's sick, okay? You just put yourself under so much pressure. I could just imagine, all right? So then Patrice and William had a moment. William is very overwhelmed by some things that are going on in his personal life. He was able to have a vulnerable moment with Patrice, and I thought that was cool, but I guess that's one of his connections then, that I didn't write down earlier. So he's basically stressed out in his personal life, and she was able to, let him talk, give him that space to be vulnerable, and she didn't act crazy. But see, the thing is, when Will confronted her about what she said, that whole thing of her even repeating that, I'm glad that William didn't feel some type of way about crying in front of her, because, is she going to repeat it when she gets mad? I don't know. They got it on camera, so, oh well, we all saw it. But my point is, sometimes you just have to, the way you treat somebody else could affect the way that somebody else deals with you. And so that's my point. She did good in this situation with William. But with Will, I felt like she could have handled that situation a little cooler, because if you said whatever you said about him, say it. I mean, stand in it and, take note of the fact that he's approaching you about it. But I just felt like she could have handled it a little different. But I was glad that she handled the situation with William like she did, because a lot of men don't feel comfortable being that open in front of women because of how they're treated afterwards. So anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Then the ladies get to talk to Tommy, and that's how we end up with Alonzo, William, and LaRon in the bottom. All right, all LaRon cares about taking his food to go. And like I said, of course, it's a cliffhanger. All right, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. And I mean, I'm really ready for this reunion, to be honest. Even though we haven't gotten through the episodes, we don't even know who the couples are. I really am ready for the reunion so we can get on to the next season. This joint is dragging. Anyway, did anybody watch Will's interview with Little Black Book? How was it? I like Little Black Book, but I just got to see if I want to sit through an interview with Will. If was anything good said, get in the comments below. Let me know. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. It's about to be Love is Blind, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that, because I'm going to review Love is Blind, certain things throughout the season, mostly focused on the latter part in the reunion and what's going on now. But I also want to talk about the shit that be going on with casting for these shows and stuff like that. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys in another video.